I'm already a millionaire in my mind. I don't see it yet, but I believe it now. In the same way a seed is called by its finished form, I'm accepting my divine inheritance as a child of God. I'm meant to have life and have it more abundantly. My treasure on earth shall correspond directly to the treasure in the heaven of my mind. Abundance is my birthright. Ashe, amen, and so it is. My name is Julian Gordon, and I'm author of Rich and Righteous: Spiritual Secrets to Mastering Money, Manifestation, and Your Mind. After becoming a multimillionaire through real estate investing, I was moved by God at the beginning of the pandemic to share my money mindset that allowed me to quit my job in January of 2009 at the bottom of the last recession and achieve full financial freedom. I own my mental real estate before I own any physical real estate. This book is like some of your favorites: Rich Dad, Poor Dad, As a Man Thinketh, Think and Grow Rich, and the Bible all in one. But the divine downloads and thoughts that are in here are 100% original and came for a 6-month period at the beginning of the pandemic. This book is normally $100 on Amazon if you went there right now, but I want to give you access to it for free by inviting you to our next reading group. Yes, the reading group is 100% free. Every weekday for 100 days straight, I'll be reading and discussing the 10 money commandments in the book that make money come to you in your life easily, more frequently, and abundantly. And it will take about 30 to 45 minutes as we read 3 to 5 pages per day until we finish the book and reprogram your mind around money. Why 100 days? Well, if you are 30 years old, you've lived for 10,950 days. And we have to deprogram and reprogram the negative, scarcity-based money mindset society has taught you. And I believe I can do that in just 1% of the time in about 100 days. I'm done with shelf help. You know, when you buy a book to change your life, but you never read it, it just sits on your bookshelf and collects a whole bunch of dust. We off that. When is the last time you had an author actually read their book to you out loud because they cared about you getting the information in your soul? I'm not just here to get this book in your hands. More importantly, I want to get it in your head and your heart, because that's where the real transformation occurs, in the conscious and the subconscious mind. As scripture says, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. This is not the type of book that you just read once. To renew the subconscious mind requires repetition over and over and over. So if you joined us last time, I encourage you to join us again. I myself have read this book over 10 times already. So click the link to join our next reading group, and when you sign up, I'm gonna give you the first 2 chapters of the book for absolutely free on what is money and abundance is your birthright, so that you can start your journey to a more abundant life today.
What's good, y'all? Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Welcome to another reading of the Rich and Righteous. This is your boy Thavian coming at you with day number 13. Day number 13. If you're new here, please go check out the previous reading so you can get caught up. We're on day number 13. Right now, we're still in money commandment number 3. If you're new and don't know what that is, money commandments are commandments that allow us to reprogram our minds around money so we can attract more money. Right now, we're on money commandment number 3, which deals with how the rich and wealthy feel about money. Yesterday was day number 12. We talked about our perverted and inverted relationship with money. If you didn't catch that, or you did not get any gems from that, please go back and listen to that section again. Day 12. But right now we're into day 13. If you do not have the book, in the description section of the post, there is a link where you can order your book. Share the wealth, share the love, share the experience. Go ahead and get your family and friends on board. Copy you a copy of the book, and you'll have 4 more additional for family and friends. Make sure you comment what are your takeaways at the end of the reading. If you do not have any takeaways, that means you were not paying attention and you were not listening and you did not receive the information. So therefore, you may need to go back, re-listen, reread, because there's definitely something in there that you're going to need to help you reprogram your mind to attract more money. With that being said, man, it's Friday. It's day 13. We're rich and righteous. Remember your I am statements along with the I am a millionaire affirmation. You should already have came up with some I ams for yourself, wrote them down, say them in the morning, say them before you go to bed, but make sure you're using the power of I am. Remember, I am is your first name. Whatever you put on the end is your last name. And whatever you put on the end must align with you in a positive light. All right, let's go ahead and get the today's reading started. Kick this Friday off right with my boy Julian on how to stop worrying about money.
You said you ready. All right. Jesus entering the temple to drive out the money changers was an allegory to show that the temple of our minds should not be preoccupied with money and buying and selling all of the time. I'm going to repeat that. Jesus entering the temple to drive out the money changers was an allegory to show that the temple of our minds should not be preoccupied with money and buying and selling all the time. Did you catch? Imagine that this did not happen in a literal sense. Imagine that Jesus is the highest consciousness within you, and this is an allegory to show you that your mind, which is the house of my Father, right, should not be preoccupied with money all of the time. But when you think about your own experience, when you think about how much of your thought energy is actually focused on money, whether it's about making money or whether you have enough money, how much of your thought energy goes to money? How much of your temple is dedicated to money changing? How much of your thought temple is dedicated to money changing? This is what this allegory is really all about. Our temple or our minds is meant to be a house of prayer, not a house of worrying about money. The Father's house up here, the temple, is supposed to be a house of prayer. We're supposed to be in constant connection with the Most High. But in this lower frequency, which we call Earth, right, this more tangible experience that we're having, we focus so much of our thought energy on money. Our temple or our minds is meant to be a house of prayer, meaning that our thoughts are meant to live, well, reside in, on, and with God. When people say, I got my mind on my money and my money on my mind, they think it's a way to manifest more money, when in truth, it's likely them worrying about money. When people say, I got my mind on my money and my money on my mind, they think it is a way to manifest more money, when in truth, it is likely them worrying about money. If you want money, creating value should be on your mind. Serving should be on your mind. And once you do that, the money will follow and flow. We know that monetarily, financial freedom is when your passive income is greater than your cost of living. But mentally, financial freedom is when you are free of having to think about money. We know that monetarily, financial freedom is when your passive income is greater than your cost of living. But mentally, financial freedom is when you are free of having to think about money, just like we don't think about oxygen. Did y'all catch that? This is an allegory about going into the temple that is so focused on money, making money, whether I have enough money, money, and turning over the tables out of anger. That is what our thought energy, the greatest currency that is within us, has been focused on so much. And we're trying to get to a state of consciousness, wealth consciousness, where we don't worry about money, where we dedicate no thought energy to money at all. That's how you know you are financially free, when you don't worry about money, where money does not dictate your decisions in any way whatsoever. When you're going to a restaurant to eat, you don't choose based on going from right to left. How many go to the restaurant and you choose from right to left? Because you got to look at the price first before you can choose what you're going to order, right? No, we want to go from left and not even have to worry about right. When I get the restaurant bill, I don't even look at the number. When it's time to pay, I just hand them my credit card. I don't even need to know the number. I already ate the food. What I need to look at the number for? To be like, oh man, that's a lot of money, and start complaining and devaluing and uprooting the amazing experience that I just had. What do I need to look at the number for? with the rare exception to make sure that they didn't add anything that wasn't supposed to be on there, like if the order got mixed up. That's the only time I need to look at the bill. But beyond that, I don't need to look at the bill. I already ate the food. I already had a great time and a great experience. Here's my card. Whatever it costs, that's what it costs. That's where I want you to get to in terms of your state of consciousness, and where you're not ordering food based on the price. Oh man, I only got $30, so I'm gonna stay in this $20 range over here. Like, no, I want you to have what you want. You wanted the lamb chops today, then get the lamb chops. Okay, now many of you aren't there yet, and that's okay. But I'm letting you know that that is the ultimate goal, is where money does not dictate any decision that you make. Money does not dictate whether I show up here at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I don't directly get paid for being here. Some of you do choose to go buy the book, and I'm grateful for that. But whether any of you bought the book during this entire reading process, because God told me to show up here, I would be here, period. I'm not doing this for money. I don't work for money. I don't work for money. Now, do I make money? Yes, I make plenty of money, but I don't work for money. Are you getting that?
I just wanted to piggyback off of that because everybody always thanked me for doing this and starting the book club and the reading, because they are getting something out of it. I'm sharing my time, my experience, because I like the book. The book makes me feel good. The book has definitely changed my mind, and I want to reciprocate the way that Julian did me. I want to pour into someone else, and I have been getting some good feedback, and I appreciate that. I'm glad y'all are enjoying the book and the reading. It made me feel good, and I just want to make others feel the way I felt when I first was introduced to the book.
When you stress about money, you will have less money. Worrying does not attract money or make money come faster. See, a lot of people think that the more I worry about money, the more it's magically going to come to my life. It is doing the exact opposite. Worrying does not attract money or make money come faster. It does the exact opposite and repels money. Anytime you worry about money, you are pushing it energetically away from you. You are repelling it, not causing it to come faster. Oh man, I ain't this bills, this and this. Oh my goodness, I don't know how I'm going to do this. You think that's going to make the money come? Money's like, ooh, that person is needy. I don't want to be around them. I don't want to be around them. How many of you ever had a needy person around you, or have a friend who always calls you and they just needy? Do you want to spend time and energy with them? We talk about money being emotional. Do you want to spend time and energy around a needy person who's always worrying and complaining about what's not working, how little that they have? Worry is meditating on or envisioning the negative worst case scenario, an absence of the thing that you are worrying about. Worrying is meditating on or envisioning the negative worst case scenario, an absence of the thing you are worrying about. When you step into environments, meetings, or conversations ridden with worry, what is your first inclination? To leave. Yet worrying is the default response that many people have when there is more month left at the end of the money instead of more money left at the end of the month. But it is not just people living in poverty that worry about money. Hear me on this. It is not just people in poverty who worry about money. Regardless of income or savings, anyone with poverty consciousness or a scarcity mindset worries about money. According to the Mind Over Money survey by Capital One and Decision Lab, 77% of Americans report worrying about their financial situation. 58% feel that finances control their lives, and 52% have difficulty controlling their money-related worries. Americans are most worried about their financial future, which includes not having enough money to retire, 68%, keeping up with the cost of living, 56%, and managing debt levels, 45%. And the impact financial stress has on Americans stretches into all aspects of life, with respondents saying they feel fatigue, 43%, find it difficult to concentrate at work, 42%, and have trouble sleeping, 41%. A quarter of respondents, 25%, said financial stress affects their relationships. So until you've mastered money, It is going to be hard for you to be in relationship with someone else. 78% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. You want to know why they call it the land of the free? Because they got so much land for free. Land of the free was not indicative of the people in America. It was indicative of how America got created. They call it the land of the free is because they got so much land for free. You look at the size of the Louisiana Purchase and how much they paid for the Louisiana Purchase, you would understand that. This has never been about the American people. It is about the powers that be that control America who are free. But they've used the brand of freedom to control the people and create something aspirational that is not really the reality for most Americans. And I'm talking about the whole spectrum from black to white. You think that white people are more free than you? No, they are not. They are in just as much bondage as you are. We're at the bottom of page 42. Worry is a dis-ease that brings imagined future fear or failure into the present moment. Worry is a dis-ease that brings imagined future fear or failure into the present moment. That's why Jesus said in Matthew 6:34, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. Unfortunately, many people, especially in America, have made money their God. Hence the inscription, in God we trust, on money. Money is their number one worry and their perceived savior. Hence why people save money. Money is their number one worry and their perceived savior. Hence why people save money. Because they think it's their savior. Money often provides a false sense of security to cover up one's true insecurity about their own ability and God's ability to provide. I'm going to repeat that. Money often provides a false sense of security to cover up one's true insecurity about their own ability and God's ability to provide. You think that saving money is financial security. Saving money is not financial security. Saving money actually reveals your financial insecurity because it means that you don't know what to do with it. It means that you are going to hoard it instead of circulate it. You're going to accumulate it instead of circulate it because of your own insecurity. You're not confident in your ability to make it multiply. You're not confident in your ability to send it out and make it return back to you. So you hold on to that which you have. And we know as you give, so you shall receive. So if you're not giving and you're not circulating, then guess what? This is why you're not receiving. It is dangerous to only have one stream of income via a job. I know that when I am about my mother, father, God's business, money flows to me and through me as easily as oxygen. See, this is where I'm trying to get you to, the state of not just worrying about money flowing to you, but you actually want money to flow through you. I don't hold on to money. The reason God keeps giving me money because it knows that the buck does not stop here. It knows that once I receive this $100 bill, that I already have a vision or a plan or an idea that I'm going to put it into that is going to do more good and more God on this earth. Okay? Yes, you save money for temporarily. I call it a sacred stash. You have sacred stashes that you're using for your down payment. You have a sacred stash that you're using for an investment. But we're only saving money temporarily for a purpose because we need to amass a certain amount for a down payment. We need to amass a certain amount to buy a business or to buy inventory. That is the only time we save money because we need to amass it, but we're saving it to use it. We're not just saving it for the sake of saving it. We're saving it to use it. That is the difference. So I know that when I'm about my mother, father, God's business, money flows to me and through me as easily as oxygen. God is my true source of supply, not a job, not a client, or even my business. Those are all streams that come from that one source. Your job, family, is not your source of income. God is your source of income, and your job is one stream of income. Your job is not your income source. God is always your income source, and your job is one stream of income that God uses to pour into you. But in many ways, when you only have one stream, you are actually cutting off God. You are limiting the ways that God can actually pour into you. That's you doing that. You think that the only way for you to get money into your possession is through a job. When the most powerful way for you to get money is through your mind. So I need to show you this chart. This is why I need some of you to get the book. Okay. I need to show you this chart. This is worry. Okay. Worry is bringing fear of the future or fear of failure into the present. So here's the past. Here you are. We know that the kingdom of heaven is here and now. We know that the kingdom of heaven is in your midst, right? So you are right here. This is the now right here. The now is this thin line between the past and the future. And so worry is actually projecting an imagined fear or failure that is in the future. It's actually not in the future. It's imagined, but you're bringing that fear into the present moment. You're bringing that perceived future fear or failure into the present moment. This is the depiction of what worry looks like. This is the depiction of what worry looks like. But the only moment that matters is actually the here and now. When I ask you, where are you? What is the right answer always going to be? If I ask you, where are you? What is the right answer always going to be, family? Remember, time is man-made. We made up time. Correct. If I ask you, where are you? The right answer is always going to be here. And if I ask you what time is it, what's always going to be the right answer? If I ask you what time is it, what is always going to be the right answer? The right answer is always going to be now. So guess what? The only thing that exists is the here and now. We are on a time continuum of here and now, here and now, here and now, here and now, here and now. There's no other time. Everything else, all these numbers that we've associated with time, it's all made up. Those are man-made things. The here and now is all that exists. There is no past, there is no future. It's only the here and now. And in the here and now, when we are present, we can create a new possibility and a new reality in the here and now. Some of you worried about rent on January 1st. Guess what? That's tomorrow. How do you feel right now? You feel good? You got a roof over your head now? In this moment? You got food in the fridge? You got enough money to pay for lunch today? Then guess what? It's all good. It's all good. The here and now is all good. But if you want to start projecting out the future about what could happen, the fears that you have, the potential failures of not being able to pay rent or your mortgage or whatnot, then you're bringing that, you're actually ruining the here and now through your imagination. The here and now is all that exists. Luke 17:21 reads, "No one will say, 'See here' or 'there,' for you see, the kingdom of God is in your midst." If I ask you, where are you? The right answer will always be here. If I ask you, what time is it? The right answer will always be now. Anytime you are in two places at once, listen to me. Anytime you are in two places at once, physically in one place and mentally in another, you will be unhappy and cannot enter the kingdom. Anytime you are in two places at once, you will always be unhappy and you cannot enter the kingdom because your mind and body are in two separate places. One is here, one is at your desk, and the other one is on a beach in Jamaica. One is sitting at your desk and the other is on a beach in Jamaica because you're daydreaming. So that means that your heaven and your earth are not aligned. Your mental and your physical are not aligned. You are not whole. You are not one. You are divided. And you cannot enter into the kingdom when you are divided. A house divided against itself cannot stand. So this is why we need to stay present in the here and the now. The heaven in your mind and your physical experience on earth are not aligned. Every emotion fits on the man-made linear timeline of the past, present, or future. Worry brings the future into the present. Shame and unforgiveness bring the past into the present. One of the keys to the kingdom is to stay present in the here and now. Yesterday is gone and tomorrow never. Heaven is not a place you go to, as I stated before. Thy kingdom come. Heaven is not a place that you go to after you die, family. It says thy kingdom come. Just like when you hail an Uber, do you have to go chase after the Uber? Do you have to go chase after the Uber? Nope. You call it up on the app and the Uber comes. So thy kingdom come means that you don't need to go anywhere because it comes to you when you are fully present. Thy kingdom come. It comes to you when you are fully present. This is why it says be ye childlike. Because children are fully present. They are not worried about the future and they don't drag shame from the past. My daughter can get into a fight with her friend today at school. And tomorrow, guess what? They're best friends again. They don't hold record. They live in the here and the now. But we as adults, we say, oh man, that person did me wrong the other day. Now you holding a grudge for 3 weeks because somebody cut you off. Somebody didn't affirm you or acknowledge you in a meeting. Like kingdom come means that you don't have to go anywhere. Worry can manifest as shame and unforgiveness too. Shame is worrying about the past following you and other people's opinions. Shame brings past mistakes. Okay, these are mistakes you feel when you were mainly. Okay, excuse me. Shame brings past mistakes you feel were mainly caused by you into the future, and that takes you out of the present moment. Okay, shame means that you take something that you did where you made a mistake in the past. Okay, you did something bad in the past, right? And you continue to drag it with you into the future. This is what shame looks like, bringing past mistakes you feel were caused by you into the future, okay? Even though that moment is gone, you are bringing the past into the future. Like in Luke 9:62, Jesus said to him, no one who puts his hand to the plow and looks back is fit for the kingdom. You think he's talking about farmers, y'all? You think he's talking about farming? No, this is a parable. It is a simile. It is a metaphor. No one who puts his hand to the plow and looks back is fit for the kingdom. This is why Lot's wife was not supposed to look back. When she looked back, she turned into a pillar of salt. When she turned into a pillar of salt, what does that mean? That means that she was mummified. It means that she was stuck in the past. Is this history, or is this an allegory that's trying to teach me something? Because when we take the Bible literally, we take it out of context. We're supposed to trust the spirit of the word, not the letter. That's what Paul said, right? Here's how you know that what the issue with taking it literally all the time. Perhaps some things in there are literal, but when Jesus said, go pray in the closet, in the closet in secret, you think that meant go pray in the actual closet, like go in the closet and pray? No, he was talking about the closet of your mind. But look what the Catholic Church did. The Catholic Church, what do? They go create prayer closets. Oh yeah, this is a sacred closet that you could pray in that's going to get you closer to God. They took it literally, and now you have prayer closets. You don't need a closet to pray to God. The only closet you need is to go into the closet of your mind. But when you take it literally, then you create all these rituals that actually distance people from God. Luke 9:62, Jesus said to him, no one who puts his hand to the plow, meaning who's ready to do the work, and looks back is fit for the kingdom. If you're ready to do this work and move forward, you cannot look back. Focus on what you want to happen now, not what happened or what you don't want to happen again. That's a simple sentence, but I'm going to repeat it. Focus on what you want to happen now, not what happened or what you don't want to happen again. We will discuss how to forgive yourself of any financial shame you may have in commandment number 10. That's later on in the book. Okay. Now, the next one, unforgiveness. Unforgiveness is worry about being hurt again, so you put up your guard. Unforgiveness is bringing past discord caused by someone else into the present moment. So shame is caused by something that you did, okay? Unforgiveness is triggered by something someone else did to you. The discord is a cord that only you are holding on to. You think that when you're holding on to unforgiveness that you're doing something to that other person. You think when you being unforgiving to somebody, you think you're doing something to them. They ain't even thinking about you, boo. Yeah, I understand. They did you wrong. And so now you're holding on to unforgiveness. You're holding on tightly to this cord. And you think that you holding on to this cord is doing something to them. No, it's only hurting you. In Matthew 5:24, it reads, first go and be reconciled to your brother. Then come and offer your gift. For you to give to God purely out of love, and for God to give its pure love to you, you must forgive yourself and other people for anything that happened in the past. You must forgive yourself and anyone of anything that happened in the past. Do not come to God with unforgiveness on your heart. And so we want to move with a light heart. And the only way you can have a light heart is when you be ye childlike, and when you don't hold on to resentment and unforgiveness and hate and these other negative, more dense emotions that hold us down into this physical reality. Karma, the law of cause and effect, will handle that person. They will reap what they've sown. Okay? You aren't the one who's going to cause them to reap. You want to be the one that gets them back. No. In the same way, because on the good side, cause and effect, when you do something good for somebody, it does not always come back to you from that individual. When you do something good in the world, it does not always come back through the individual that you did the good for. It comes back in its own universal way. And the same thing with somebody who's done you wrong. It does not have to come back from you because they did you wrong. It will come back to them in another way. It is the law of cause and effect. Broken, it is undeniable, and it always works. You don't have to see how it works either. You get to move on with your life, knowing that that is simply the law. This is where grace comes in, family. We don't just need grace from God. We actually get to extend grace to other people. Forgive us of our sins as we forgive those who sin against us. We can extend grace. We have the power to forgive sin, family. Forgive us of our sins as we, not as God, as we forgive those who sin against us. We have the power to extend grace. God, I know that person did me wrong. Be easy on them. That's true forgiveness. When you actually want them to heal, not want them to hurt more. So, unforgiveness, bringing past discord caused by someone else into the future. So this is the past discord. It's similar to shame, okay? But shame is something that you did. Unforgiveness is something that somebody else did to you, and you're bringing that into the future, okay? So we're at the bottom of page 145, and we only have one page left, okay? In Matthew 18:12 through 14, it reads, "What do you think? If a man owns 100 sheep and one of them wanders away, will he not leave the 99 on the hills and go to look for the one that wandered off? And if he finds it, truly I tell you, he is happier about that one sheep than about the 99 that did not wander off. In the same way, your Father in heaven is not willing that any of these little ones should perish." Okay? In the Bible, sheep represent divine, innocent, and obedient thoughts that follow the good shepherd, which is you. In the Bible, sheep represent divine, innocent, and obedient thoughts that follow the good shepherd, which is you. When you couldn't go to sleep as a child, what did you do? You counted sheep because they were innocent and would take your mind off the boogeyman under the bed. Also notice that those sheep are up on the hills. Remember, we see mountains in the Bible all the time. Why? Because mountains represent higher consciousness. We see Moses go up to the mountain, right? We see that Lot was commanded to go to the higher mountain, but instead he went to Zoar, which is a place of smallness. We see that Noah's Ark landed on Mount Ararat, right? We see a hillside here. We see Jesus go up to the mountains. Mountains represent higher consciousness all throughout the Bible. So also notice that the sheep are up on the hills and raised up, representing our highest thoughts. The lost sheep are our thoughts that wander off downhill towards our base self. So you are in good spirits, and then you have one negative thought that goes astray. And you, as a shepherd, as the leader of your thought, have to go grab that negative thought and bring it back up the hill. You, as the good shepherd, have to go grab that negative thought that ran off downhill towards your base self and bring it back. Because if the sheep that are on the hill start seeing that sheep, then you see more thoughts start to follow that sheep. Many of us have vices, and we know the triggering thought that gets that vice to unfold. So for some of you, it is being alone and having a negative thought after 9 p.m., and all of a sudden you end up in a negative habit. You end up going and doing drugs. You end up going into alcoholism. You end up like there's a trigger. That trigger, that is the lost sheep. It is that one little thought that actually starts to send all your good thoughts downhill towards your base self. You know what it is. You know what it is. And so, as the good shepherds, we have to catch that sheep before it goes astray and bring it back up the hill. See, when you look at man, I'm talking about mankind, men and women. A man who has no vices, either one of two things is happening. Either they are fronting imperfection and they're about to lose control because they're pretending like they have no vices, or they've truly mastered themselves and have full control, therefore they have no vices. But until what manifests, you can't tell. A man will front and say, I have no vices, but they've been masking that in as I'm perfect, but they have vices that they've just been subduing, and they're literally about to lose control, right? But then you have man who is elevated, man and woman who is elevated, and they're actually in full control of their vices. They've mastered their vices. But guess what? In order to master your vices, sometimes you got to go into them. In order to master your vices, sometimes you have to go into the depths of them. I'm not encouraging you to go into the depths of them, but I'm just saying that that's part of the process. Okay? So whether your vice is sex, whether it is a drug, whether it is a drink, whether it is, there's all kinds of them out there, whether it's food, whatever your vice is, a sheep that goes astray. And I want you to be on a journey to master it, because anything that you do not control, guess what? Is your master. So you either master it or it is your master. You either master it or it will become your master. Ask me how I know. So we're on page 46. As the Christ consciousness, the highest level of thinking in you, that's what Christ consciousness represents. As the Christ consciousness, the highest level of thinking in you is the good shepherd responsible for bringing thoughts that have gone astray back to the present when some thoughts in the mind wander off. Worrying about money takes your mind into the future. And unforgiveness and financial shame keep your mind in the past. Money is not the issue, but how you relate to it is. The land of milk and money is here and now. God is I am, and I am is present tense. Therefore, I am rich and righteous right now. Type that in. I am rich and righteous right now. You see, I am is not a past tense thing. That would be I was. I will be is in the future. But God said that I am that I am. That is present. That's as present tense as it gets. Even in the name of God, it indicates that it is the present tense, that the kingdom is here and now in our midst. So I am rich and righteous, not I will be rich and righteous, not I was rich and righteous. No, I am rich and righteous right now. I assume the identity. That identity now becomes my being. My being shapes my doing, and then my doing shapes my having. So even if I don't see the material manifestation of my identity as somebody who's rich and righteous yet, I know that it is coming. Why? Because thy kingdom what? Thy kingdom what? Thy kingdom come. Thy kingdom come. If I can hold that frequency and that vibration consistently and long enough. Jesus overturning the tables is an allegory. The tables of the money changer is an allegory that our mind should not be focused on money as much as it is. It is coming into the temple. The temple is here. Christ consciousness being the highest version of yourself, coming in and saying, no, this is not how the mind or the temple is supposed to operate. Get out of here. This space is supposed to be a house of prayer. My Father's house is supposed to be a house of prayer, meaning that we are supposed to be in constant connection with our higher power at all times.
All right. This concludes day 13. Man, day 13, officially in the books. What are your takeaways? What are your takeaways? One thing I want you guys to do this weekend, since today is Friday, last reading of the week, the last part that Julian read and spoke about, consciousness the highest level of thinking in you is the good shepherd, responsible for bringing thoughts that have gone astray back to the present when they tend to wander off. He gave the example of the sheep. When you got a group of sheep at the top of the hill, and then you got one sheep that wanders off down to the bottom of the hill. You, as the shepherd, need to get that one sheep under control and bring him back. Because if you let him stray too far, the other sheep are going to see that he has wandered off and became free, and they too are going to want to follow him. Now you're going to have multiple sheep out of control. These are your thoughts. So if all your thought processes are in line, it's going to be one situation that triggers your daydreaming or your thoughts to go astray. And you have to know what that trigger is. He called it a vice. You have to know what that vice is that gets you in that mode of your mind wandering off course, and that one negative thought that starts bringing you down. You got to hurry up and grab that negative thought and bring it back up. You need to figure out what that trigger is. Need you to do that this weekend. That's going to be a part of your homework, and another one of those processes to get you moving towards attracting more money. Once again, day 13 is in the books. Hope you guys enjoyed the reading. I definitely enjoyed the reading. If you do not have the book, link below in the comment section. Order your book for you, family, and friends. You get 5 books for the price of 1. Also, make sure you comment on what are your takeaways. Day 13 officially in the books. See y'all next week. Enjoy the weekend. Salute.